All right. So we are live. Yeah, we're live. Perfect. All righty. So I want to kick off. So first off, great. It was great. Hopefully everyone got a chance to watch prep last week. We had some great speakers, some good stuff there. I cannot wait for a couple weeks from now on the 8th. We got some good things coming there as well. And so I want to remind everyone, one of the big things that I talked about this past week was that when we have prep and Roman's running these weekly preps, you're learning stuff like, and you hear a certain, right? He teaches on a certain topic, or we talk about a certain topic. That doesn't mean you've learned it. That means that you have heard it and you are now acquainted with that topic, but you haven't learned it. You know, if I said right after, like, okay, go execute it, like, would you have the confidence to execute it? You know, and that's one level. And then execute it effectively, you know, and with high results is another thing. And so really understanding that when Roman is teaching these classes on Monday nights, there's work you need to do on your own to get good at it, right? We're just introducing you to a new thing. Here's how you do it. And then it's up to you to study it and get good at it and implement it and find ways to implement it. Some of you guys will be able to implement weekly. Some of you guys, you know, when you come home for breaks and stuff, you'll really do a lot more repetitions, but anything you can do in advance is huge. So I want to remind you guys of that. You know, one of the things we talked about last week was getting some coaching on your PR approach. People ask, what should we have known by now? By last week, you should be super confident with the PR approach, which I know some people are behind, and that's okay. We want to help you guys out with that. And so we have Valerie, and Valerie has consistently one of the highest shows here, the highest show the last 2 years in the Gulf Coast for PR shows. She knows how to rock the crap out of those calls and get 50% plus people showing up all the time. And so she's going to be listening to you guys do a PR call. She'll give you some tips. She'll do it for you. And we want you to see, you know, what do you notice different? But being able to get some feedback so you guys can keep practicing that and keep putting that into play so that you guys are confident to execute that, you know? And so we started the first month of GCLA was really recruiting focused, right? And really talking about that in the PR engine, how to rock a great PR call, communicating effectively. Now we're, you know, we started the interview as well, which now we're diving more into the interview. This week and next week, we'll be doing interview stuff. And I want to make sure that we're feeling really confident with how to recruit because, by the way, development is important as well. But if you're going to pride yourself on something, pride yourself on being a great recruiter in this business, you know? But yes, we want people to have a great experience. And so you also want to become a great developer of people, you know, and help them succeed, help them have great paychecks, right? And thrive. And so we want to see that. So I sent you guys the PR approach, the basic one. I believe I also sent the 2.0. Did you guys get that as well in the email? Cool. So the first version is just your normal regular approach, which by the way, if you don't know exactly what to say, you could read that and that's a PR call, you know? And that's like just literally read word for word. The second one is really more of an outline with objectives, you know, of like say hello and why you're calling, build rapport and gives you some things to hit on and then set them up for a time, you know, which is the flow of the call. And it's more like off the cuff, just like, hey, oh yeah, so how'd you know so-and-so? And, you know, and some people work better like that. That's how I do most of my calls, but I started with the first approach. And as I got comfortable, like if you watch me, like the second one is someone that watched me doing calls for a long time. And they're like, yours is so quick and it's just so to the point and you build such good rapport. Like I did it for so many freaking years, you know, and I got really comfortable with that. And so it's very like, okay, go, right? So I'm not gonna quiz you guys today, but on the 8th, when we meet next Tuesday, I will be calling out some people to do their PR approaches next Tuesday. So you guys can watch that live at the prep, next week. So, oh my gosh, like these weeks fly by really fast. All right, so we met 2 weeks ago, and then that's next week. So I want you guys, so you guys should have your scripts up now. So I know we started going over the interview in the prep 2 weeks ago, and I really wanted to get more of a deep dive and first give you guys a chance to be able to practice. And so grab somebody and practice, role play your actual pre-screen at least 2 times each. I might stop you sooner, but the goal is to do it 2 times each. Then we can give you guys some feedback on that. And then we'll have probably 2 of you, we'll see how time's going. At least 2 of you actually do it so that Roman can give you feedback, on your pre-screen and how you're doing so far. And then after that, then we'll go through the intro and give you a chance to role play the intro. And then same deal, you guys we'll have some of you guys do it live so we can see it. Okay. So if you guys want to grab your scripts out. And so what I'm going to do, actually, I'm just going to put you guys into, does it let you, or how can I make you a co-person? Yeah, like, are you able to do it or only me? Okay. So let me see here. How did I do that before? No, I don't see it. Give me 1 second, guys. More. Oh, I wonder if it doesn't do it in webinar, only in meeting. Dang. Okay. All right. So shoot. What I think we should just make another, because I want them to be able to role play. Yeah. So check to see a normal one for me. So we're going to go through so we could see if we can put you guys into rooms to be able to role play. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull out the interview. Let's see here, recruiting, documents, interview. All right. So with this, with the pre-screening, all right, I want to go over real quick just objectives of this, all right, as you guys are going through, just to make sure, like, I think it's always really important for you guys to understand, like, what am I trying to accomplish here, right? So this person has just walked in for an interview they set up. They maybe didn't even know that it was a group interview, all right? Well, actually, all of them knew that, unless it was a friend coming with a friend, and they're like, all right, we're coming together. They were not expecting that, right? So they've walked in, hopefully somebody has made them feel comfortable and greeted them, all right? And so that's really, that makes a really big difference. And I know in times when I was by myself, something that I did for interviews is I made a sign that said, welcome, please sign in and grab an application. A manager will be with you shortly. And I bought like a little stand that could stand at the table right when they walked in with the sign-in sheet and then application. So just in case I was pre-screening somebody, they could grab that. Cool. And then I would come out like and re-announce every couple people that came in. I'd say, hey, for those I haven't met yet, my name's Kathy Kristen. I'm the branch manager here, district manager here. What I'm doing right now is actually screening through applications, just getting a feel for who's here. If things look good, then we'll have you for a second interview. But right now I'm just pre-screening through applications. And that was it, and then, kept grabbing people back just to make sure you have set the stage properly, right? So when you pull them back, this is what we're doing. And so I'm going to go ahead and share the screen so you guys can see this. All right, you guys can all see this. So, and some of you guys should have this, but so first you're just letting them know right in the beginning of the pre-screening. And Charlie, I'd love for you to grab a chair and come here so you can look at this too. So this is, so first you're reminding them like what's happening, right? So they know, okay, I had it up back here, that we are in a pre-screening process, like just so that they're comfortable with what's going on. Like if things go well, I'll invite you for a main interview, which begins in about 15 minutes. Now, let me tell you guys this. If you have someone that you don't think you want to keep, and what are reasons, I'd love to hear from you guys. What are reasons not to keep people? They might smell really bad. Like if the smell is offensive to the room, like you need to reschedule them and have them take a shower or something. And that might be like, whether it's like really bad BO, it's really hard for other applicants. Like that's just tough to deal with. Or sometimes I've had someone walk in who just smelled like they hotboxed their car and then walked into their interview. And I also don't want my whole room smelling like marijuana. So with that person, I'll say, hey, like, I'm not sure what you were doing prior, but I'd love to set you for an interview to come back and just, ideally, no, like, try to not, what did I tell people before? I'm trying to, I was like very like direct, but I'm like, it smells like other people could have been like using certain substances in your car, but if we could plan on coming, tomorrow or the next day and like plan ahead so that doesn't happen just because it's very strong, in the room. And I don't think it's professional for an interview, but I definitely would love to give you a shot, and I had some people come back and then some people didn't come back and that was fine. But I was still trying to give them a shot. I just wasn't going to keep them there when they literally walked in and smelled like a cloud of smoke, and if somebody's like older, like a lot older, I'm going to tell them, and that's a separate thing, like more exactly like how the job works. But for most of your applicants, you guys can say this. If I'm not going to keep them, I don't tell them if everything goes well, I invite you to stay for the main interview, which begins in 15 minutes. I say, if things look good, we'd have you back for a second interview. And that's it. That's all I say. All right. Is it good there or does it have the option? So we used it. So review. So now we review their application. So you're looking at how they heard about us, job. And so something that, by the way, is going to help you guys big time is knowing like what kids came from what schools. All right. This is something that we used to do all the time and I hadn't done it. We did a mini version last year, but we haven't had one updated. And I know that's something that Valerie was working on for our office last week. Was just getting like every school and then who do we have that launch from those schools? Because when you meet with somebody, it's always great to like name drop and say, oh, we've had several top students, that worked with us, so-and-so, 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 like all graduated, from Friendswood. But being able to share that with people, name dropping is huge. That's why it says their name drop high schools, and PRs. Finding out what they're looking for, going through these questions, I'm always looking like, okay, they're working right now. Are they looking to add to it or replace it? That's a question I ask people when I look at it. It's like, oh, are you looking to add to what you currently have or replace what you currently have? All right, cool. And so it looks like your major's this. And so you're just investigating a little bit, getting to know them. Then you're going into the job description and then you invite them for the group interview. So this is a very, very simple. We have one that's a lot longer, which Mary Lou had scripted word for word. And I can share that with you guys too, but this is just real simple. It's very like, just go look through, because that's your goal is just to go, okay, is this person qualified? Like what are they looking for? What are things? And then just give them a brief job description. All right. So this, the description, they might've read it beforehand or whatever, but you're like, hey, basically our representatives work with customers one-on-one, face-to-face, show our products, answer questions and help them place orders. All right. Is it there? Okay. So do you feel comfortable working with customers one-on-one? Okay, great. And we're going through applicants, older applicants, and stuff here. So it might not let me because I'm on here.
I'm on here.
Okay. Okay. So we might switch to a different meeting just because I want to, I want to have you guys be able to role play. So give me one moment and I'll post in the group, but look over this right now because you guys are going to practice this right now with somebody and then we're going to give you some feedback. All right.